Hello, hello, my friends. It's another beautiful day. That's right. To read a story. Go grab your stuffy. We've got an amazing read today. I am so excited about this read. It's called I Love You, No Matter What. It's written and illustrated by J.Rutland. I love you no matter what. Let's get into this read. Today had been a bad day. Little Blue had forgotten to clean his nest. He had been mean to his baby sister, and he had spilled his bowl of birdseed. First, his father was sad, then he was angry, and finally he just shook his head at his little blue bird. Daddy, since you probably don't love me anymore, I'm leaving the big oak tree for good, Little Blue said with a pout.
I'm very sorry to hear that, but before you leave, I'd like to tell you a story of a very special bird, much like you. His name was Prince Chirpio, Daddy Blue said patiently. Far away in Skinny Tree Kingdom, Prince Chirpio had always liked being royalty. He liked living in the castle and wearing his royal robe, but he didn't like that his father, King Puffbelly, still expected Chirpio to follow certain rules. He was to practice his chirping. He was to save his birdseed pie until after dinner, and he was never to wander beyond the borders of the kingdom. One night, while Chirpio and his father were pretending to slay dragonflies, Chirpio said, "Father, I'm a brave prince. I shall be going on adventures. I shall be fighting real dragonflies. I shall be rescuing princesses." My, that's a lot of shoulders, replied King Puffbelly. But I love you too much to let you leave the kingdom just yet, my son. One day, you will take your special bag of birdseed I've saved for you, and you will have an adventure of your own. But for now, I'm going to keep your feathers safe here with me. That night, Chirpio lay in his nest thinking, I am a brave prince. Finding adventure is much more important than keeping my feathers clean, he thought to himself. He decided to go ahead and get his bag of birdseed now and find a land of excitement where he could make his own rules. While the rest of the royal family slept, Chirpio tossed the bag of birdseed over his shoulder, tiptoed through the castle gates, and flew off into the darkness. He flew and he flew. Then he marched and he marched. Finally, when his wings and feet were just too tired, he leaned against a rock and fell asleep. Chirpio awoke a few hours later with an empty tummy and worn-out wings. Soon a grasshopper came hopping through the trees. Prince Chirpio, I need to rest before my big adventure. If I give you some birdseed, will you make a royal nest for me? 1 feet for a prince. Well, give me enough birdseed and I'll make you a nest fit for a king, said the grasshopper, and he got to work. Soon a caterpillar and a turtle arrived. Could you share some seed with us? The turtle asked. Well, I'm going on an adventure and I really need a robe and breakfast. If you will make me a cool royal robe and a giant chocolate birdseed pie, I'll pay you with seed, So the caterpillar and turtle got to work. Prince Charpio soon had a beautiful nest, a fancy new robe, and a mouth covered in chocolate bird seed. He and his new friends spent the next few days lying around, snacking and dreaming of adventures. Meanwhile, back in the skinny tree kingdom, King Puffbelly had realized that Charpio was gone. He was aflutter with worry over his little prince. Charpio, where are you? Don't you know I miss you? I'll never stop searching for you, and I'll never stop loving you, thought the king. But Charpio wasn't thinking about his father. He had been too busy enjoying giant pie and his fancy robe and nest. His new friends, the grasshopper, the caterpillar, and the turtle, did what he wanted and played with him until one day when Charpio's bag of birdseed was suddenly empty. Ooh. See ya, Chirpster, said Turtle. When you have new birdseed, call us. Until then, maybe the pigs in the next pasture will share their food with you. He and his friend. They laughed to themselves. Charpio flew away sadly, feeling lonelier than ever. When he flew over the nearby pasture, Charpio saw the family of pigs having their dinner. He perched on a branch above them to think about what to do next. I wonder if the pigs really do have some seed to share, he thought. He leaned out of the tree to get a better look at the sloppy mess they were eating. But I'm so hungry that I might even be able to eat some of that, even though it looks icky, yucky, gooey, stinky. Oops! Charpio lost his balance and fell tail first among the pigs, sending Piglet squealing and Slump splashing. He sat up in the middle of the muddy, gloopy mess. Stinky Slump was running down his head, and Mother Pig was not happy with him. That's it, thought Charpio. He had wasted his seed, he was hungry, he was lonely, and now he was covered in pig slop. Leaving home had been a very bad decision. I don't belong here. I belong to the castle with my father. I'm going home, he thought. So Charpio shook up the slop as best as he could, and he flew off toward Skinny Tree Kingdom. But as he flew, he kept wondering, I've done such a bad thing. Will my father still love me? After hours of flying, Charpio finally saw his father in the distance. The prince was nervous. What if his father was angry? What if he didn't allow Charpio back into the kingdom? What if his father didn't love him anymore? When he landed, the prince bowed his head in front of the king and said, I'm sorry, Daddy. I understand if you don't want me to come home. Maybe I can just work for you in the castle. To Charpio's surprise, King Puffbelly just threw his wings around his son and pulled him into a huge hug. Daddy, does that mean you still love me? Even though I wasted all the seed you had saved for me? Even though I disobeyed and left the kingdom? Even though I left you? I don't like the choices you made, but I'm just so happy you came home. Listen carefully, my son. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, I love you no matter what. The king had much to celebrate, so the next day he threw a party for the entire kingdom. He even asked the royal chefs to make a giant chocolate birdseed pies for everyone, which made Charpio the happiest bird in the kingdom. Daddy Blue smiled. So you see, little Blue, Prince Chirpio learned that his father would always love him no matter what he did. Love isn't about actions. Love just is.
Little Blue looked down at his suitcase. So you still love me even on days when I forget to do my chores, or I'm not so nice to my sister, or I make a big mess? Even on days when I almost fly away forever, he asked. Daddy Blue hugged his little bird.
On fun days and sad days and happy days and mad days, when you make mistakes and when you make a mess, I will always love you, Little Blue, no matter what.
The end. This is such a beautiful read, my friends. I will always love you no matter what. Yes. Thank you for spending your time reading with me. I love you because you always spend your time reading with me. Well, until the next time, who's amazing? You, my friends, you are amazing. And keep on reading.